Hi guys, my name is Ritu and welcome to my channel. Today I will be teaching you how to make granny squares. Granny squares, well, these are granny squares and you can make blankets, coasters, pillow covers, and like a lot of stuff using these. These are like one of my favorite things to do while crocheting. So there are two different ways to make granny squares and I will be showing you how to make them both ways. One way you can do it, you can turn every row. That's easier when you're like learning and you're beginning, but you're gonna see that like the stitch kind of varies, like that's the back and that's the front. And then there's also a way you can do it without turning every row and just working in rounds and then like, so this one's a bit more like confusing since it has a row repeat. Like this way you do one way, this is a different way, and then this you do the same thing here as you did here. So I'm gonna teach you how to make this one first, and then we will talk about this. Alright, so let's get started making a granny square. First, you're going to make a slip knot. If you don't know how to slip knot, chain, or double crochet, or slip stitch, I recommend you going back and watching previous videos, as that's what you're gonna need for making one of these. So now that you have your slip knot, you're going to chain 4. Now slip stitch into the first chain that you made. So insert yarn over and pull through. So now you should have a little ring here. So this is what you're going to be working in first. In the granny square, you'll never be working in these little the stitches. You will always have spaces where you work. So that's something I really like about the granny square. So now that you have your ring, you're going to chain 3. That counts as your first double crochet. Now that you chain 3, you want to make 2 more double crochet, and that would complete one cluster, like one of these. So 2 more stitches. So 1, 2. So that's one cluster. Now chain 2. This will start making your corners. Now you're going to make another cluster, which is basically 3 double crochets. So work 3 double crochets into that ring again. Alright, so that's cluster 2 and you have one corner there. Chain 2 again for another corner and work 3 more double crochet into that same ring as before. Chain 2, work 3 more double crochet, chain 2, and find the third chain that you made here. So that's like the first, second, and that would be the third, yeah. So the top chain, I guess. And you're going to slip stitch into that. So that's your first round of the granny square. Now chain 3. This counts as your first double crochet again. Flip, turn, whatever you want to call that. So you have it facing this way. And work 2 double crochets into this hole here. So 1, 2. That is your first cluster. Now chain 2 and work another cluster, which is 3 double crochets. corner is basically a cluster, chain 2, a cluster. Now go right into here and you're going to do a double crochet right into that next space. You're going to do a cluster, chain 2, cluster here. Now into this next, that's it for this space here. And now you're going to skip right into the next stitch. 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Now do the same thing in this hole right here. 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Now find the topmost chain and slip stitch in there. Now topmost chain from this cluster here and just slip stitch into that. That's round 2 of your granny square done. Now chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet, and turn. Your granny square should look something like this right now. So I'm just gonna point out all the spaces we'll be working into here. We'll work a normal cluster into here, which is 3 double crochet, but since this counts as 1, only 2 more in here. You'll do a corner cluster here, which is 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. You'll just do a normal cluster in this space here, so that's just 3 double crochet. You'll do a corner cluster into this space, normal cluster, corner cluster, normal cluster, corner cluster, and slip stitch into here. So I'll walk you through it. So you did your 3 chains, so now you're going to do 2 more double crochet for your first cluster. Now do a corner cluster, so that's 3 double crochets and 2 chains and 3 double crochets. 2 chains and 3 double crochet. Now in this space, you just want to do 3 double crochet. In this space, you want to do 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Three double crochet into that stitch. Three double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in here. normal 3 double crochets in there, normal cluster. Corner cluster here, which is 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Oops, that shouldn't have happened. Well, it's not a big deal. 3 double crochets, pull some more yarn if necessary. 3 double crochets, chain 2 since it's corner space, 3 more in that same space there. And now you're going to find the topmost chain here and slip stitch. That's round 3 of the granny square. Typically, granny squares have about 5 to 6 rounds, but you can make them as small or large as possible. Each round is basically a regular cluster, which is just chain 3 in every space, except for these corner spaces where you do a cluster, chain 2, and a cluster. So I will just show you guys how I do it, but I will put it kind of speeded up, you know. Chain 3s always count, and don't forget to turn. Alright, so we are nearing the end of this row. So this place here is a cluster, a corner cluster. This space here is another chain, another regular 3 double crochet space. And I'm going to slip stitch into the top stitch here. And I have row 4? Yeah, row 4. Now I'm going to do one more row and I will fasten off. So chain 3, turn, 2 more double crochet, 3 double crochet into the next space, Right, we are sort of nearing the end of this row here. So this is a corner space. Chain 2. Alright, so now that I finished my last cluster here, I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the 3rd chain here and just slip stitch there, chain 1 and fasten off. So depending on the yarn you used, you may have to like flatten it out a bit. So that's a granny square. You can weave in the ends, and yeah. I ran out of time to finish my 2nd granny square. I'm gonna make another video and put it in the description box below. You can watch that right after you're done this. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. And you can now go on to the next video. Bye.